Roscoe "Fatty" Arbuckle was one of the most popular and beloved comedians of the silent era. He was a great physical comedian, plus there was something sort of childlike about him. He was second only to Charlie Chaplin in earnings. That's how popular he was. Buster Keaton used to say he learned everything he knew about making movies from Roscoe Arbuckle. They made many very funny films together. Arbuckle also became the prime suspect in one of the most sensational scandals in all of Hollywood history. Over Labor Day weekend in 1921, Roscoe hosted a party, some would say a drunken party, at the St. Francis Hotel in San Francisco. Movie starlet Virginia Rappé was found unconscious and unresponsive in Arbuckle's room. She actually died of peritonitis several days after the party. Whether the party or incidents at the party contributed to her death, we'll never know. Arbuckle and Virginia Rappé actually knew each other. She had been an extra in some of his films. Wild stories and rumors began circulating about Arbuckle. The newspapers, particularly those owned by William Randolph Hearst, had a field day at Fatty's expense. Arbuckle, who had been so loved by the public, is now being accused of murder and sexual assault. He was arrested and put on trial for manslaughter. Out on bail after 18 days, Arbuckle wrote this letter to his producer, Joe Schenck. He fully expected to resume his career, proclaiming his complete innocence. October 1st, 1921. My dear Joe, it seems I never write to you unless I am in trouble. But this is one time, Joe, I was not to blame. And when something happens in a half an hour that will change a man's whole life, it's pretty tough, especially when a person is absolutely innocent in deed, word, or thought of any wrong. I simply tried to help someone in distress. My heart is clean and my conscience is clear. And when it is over, I've got the guts to come back, and I will come back and make good. You can hear the heartbreak and frustration in Roscoe's writing. This is a man who knows his career is in jeopardy, but who believes that somehow it's still going to turn out okay. I'm not asking for sympathy or forgiveness. I am innocent, a victim of circumstance, the only one of prominence in the party, and therefore I had to be the goat. Joe, perhaps I needed a bump to wake me up, but I think I got considerable more than was coming to me. Needless to say, the kind of life I will lead from now on. Best regards, Roscoe. 2 juries were deadlocked. A third jury not only voted for acquittal, but posed for pictures with him and published an unprecedented public apology. But the damage was done. Hollywood moguls were aghast. Already, their town was being painted as a Sodom and Gomorrah. Too many scandals. Something had to be done. They hired an unimpeachable spokesman, the former U.S. Postmaster General, Will Hayes. He banned Fatty Arbuckle from the screen. For years, one of the silent era's biggest stars was relegated to working behind the camera under a pseudonym.
Do I hate new shoes?
Finally, in the early 1930s, he made a comeback on screen, in talkies, in a series of 2-reel comedies for the Vitaphone Corporation. He was just as endearing and funny as ever. But tragically, the very night he signed a new contract with Warner Brothers, he died of a heart attack. He was only 46 years old. Fatty Arbuckle, who entertained moviegoers around the world, wound up as arguably the first celebrity to be canceled, a century before the term became commonplace. A scapegoat to atone for Hollywood's sins.
Gee whiz, people are getting crookeder every day.